The lovely and talented Coya Paz is the mother of a very tiny hurricane and the artistic director of the historic Free Street Theater. Any fans? Yeah, there you go. And here she is to explain why it's important.
The world isn't very safe. I mean, fundamentally, think of all the natural disasters in the world. Earthquakes, meteors, flood, mudslides, plagues, hurricanes, tornadoes, sharknadoes, and rats. I mean, they kind of happen with or without you. Or, like, if you've ever been responsible for the care of a tiny human, you know that things like toilets and refrigerators and outlets and bookshelves and blankets suddenly become death traps. And, like, if you ever leave them with a remote, the chance that they could stumble on that show Caillou is very high. And when that happens, you will never be happy in your home again. When I was a child, I lived in a country where my classmates regularly got kidnapped on their way to school, where someone set my neighbor on fire, and where rats swam up the tight pipes into our toilets. And then, to get out of that situation, we moved to another country where we lived right in the middle of a ring of volcanoes, and there were earthquakes all of the time. And then we moved here, to a country with the highest rate of gun violence in the westernized world, and where old white men and the white women who love them unabashedly vote to put boozy sexual predators in charge of the laws of our land. The world is not safe. Anything can happen anytime. You could run into your ex at Target the one time you decided to run just a few errands without any makeup on. You could get hit by a car crossing a crosswalk. You could go out for drinks with that someone you thought was your friend, only to find out that they are most definitely not your friend, and instead the person you are going to remember every time someone writes hashtag why I didn't report. You could, especially if you're a young black man in this city, be shot by the very people who are supposed to serve and protect you seconds after they roll up on you. The world isn't very safe. But why is it important to say this now? Because the world is not safe, we cannot afford to try and be safe. We cannot be so attached to comfort that we forget that change is uncomfortable and inconvenient and, yes, unsafe. We cannot let the people with the most to lose be the only ones willing to risk a loss. We cannot be so afraid of saying the wrong thing that we say nothing. We cannot be so afraid of what might happen that nothing happens. I am not talking about being reckless. I am talking about being bold and being brave. I am talking about knowing that fear can hold you back, or maybe it can set you free. Thank you.